Hi, welcome to the podcast today. This is Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. All right, I hope you've had a good week. Yeah, it's been a minute, but I just needed to have this podcast today because I've had a lot of questions from people, even from colleagues, asking me questions on the series that I was doing. The last time I did something on the public defender, how people can actually get jobs on being a deputy public defender. And as I said, this is supposed to be a continuing series. So this today, what I'm gonna work on do is how people can actually get work as a prosecutor. So if you want to get a job as an attorney, as a deputy DA, deputy district attorney, this is for you. And this is what I want to talk about today because it's just like some basic mistakes that people actually make, and it actually makes them lose the job. I had a colleague, I've worked as a public defender. I've also worked as a district attorney. And I had a guy, like we were working together, and he was just saying, "Oh, that he had like three interviews, and he said, hey, he was just telling me, hey, Ralph, that the interviews he felt like he didn't go well, and this guy was wicked smart, like very smart dude, very great attorney, but he was making some kind of fundamental mistakes in the interview, but he didn't actually know what he was doing wrong because, of course, they didn't tell him." And so, that's why I want to make this video today, because the whole idea of this whole show is to make good attorneys better. That's why I do this. I just do this it's kind of like a public service, This is Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, leave a comment. That's what's going to help me be able to put out some great content to actually help people. All right. So, yeah. And as most of you already know, my name is Ralph. I'm an attorney, law professor. I've worked as a district attorney. I've worked as a public defender. And, I'm also in private practice. The thing about the practice of law is that it's like multifaceted. It's multifaceted. So I have people that actually ask me, okay, how can you be able to get certain things that you want in certain areas? That's why I'm putting out these videos. Okay. So for today, we want to focus. Big picture, focus, being a prosecutor. I love being a prosecutor. It's just beautiful. All right. It's just different. There is nothing like it. All right. When I go into the court and I just say, Ralph Nawabi, for the people. There is nothing as sexy as those three words, for the people. So that's different. So if you're a person that want to have that kind of experience and you want to have a job as a deputy DA, you have to listen to what I'm trying to say, because you have to know how to actually interview for the job. If you mess it up, you will likely not get the job. And so that's what I want to talk about today. These are not stuff. They don't teach this stuff they don't teach this in law schools. I've had the opportunity of going to having certain law programs in certain Ivy League schools. Like Yale Law School, and even in the UK. Criminal justice program and stuff, but they don't teach this stuff. So I need you to focus. So if you're a young attorney there trying to figure out how to get your next DA job, listen up. Just listen up. This is Uncle Ralph. I got you. All right. So the first thing is, you're trying to interview for a place, maybe a county, and you're trying to work as a DA there. Know who the DA is. The district attorney there, probably elected. Sometimes they actually have them, I think some places have them appointed, but it's usually elected. You have to do your research. Know the name of the person. That's gonna be your boss. This is the thing, and I have to get tough with some of you rookies. Like you just get out of law school, and you're just like also like braggadocious, and you just no, you just feel like you're so freaking smart, but you don't know the little things that matter. You have to know the name of the DA of the county that you're trying to apply in to be a deputy DA. You have to know that. And if it's possible, if it's a DA that has a little bit of online imprint, whatever, like digital imprint, research that person, check them out. Check them out. Just know some random stuff about them. Believe me, it could come up in the interview and it's gonna help you. That sets you apart from the competition. I'm telling you, it will set you apart. Do some research, know who the DA is. Very helpful. All right. The next thing, the district attorney, the DA's office, know what their visions, missions, and goals are. Try to familiarize yourself with the stuff that they do with the community. So let's say, whatever. Let's say they have some kind of outreach program with the community. Try to, familiarize yourself with that. Try to know what they are doing. Of course, they will likely have some kind of non-profits, thing going on for the community that they're serving. Try to get yourself familiar with all that. Some details about that. It could come up in the interview. When it comes up randomly and you don't expect it, your ability to actually talk about that and talk about how excited you are about those things that they have for the community, that sets you apart. Because the average person that's trying to get the job, they may not even know. They may not know. Mission, visions, and goals of the county DA's office, that will actually help you, set you apart. That's another thing. So bear that in mind. All right. And let's get this thing, let's do this. All right. I think sometimes there's a way that they approach interviews. Like I had a situation where I had interviews. I had like DA positions. I had like, I think at some point I had like three counties wanting me to work for them at the same time, and I'm like, oh hey, I'm just one person, I can't work for three counties, but that's how it is, and they all wanted me to work as a prosecutor, like as a deputy DA in the counties, but I couldn't do it, but it was just because I know the jobs, like I know the interviews. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is the stuff they have to understand on how to interview. Another thing. Sounds very simple. Be yourself. Authenticity. Do not be another person. Every other person is taken. You can afford to be yourself. Now, put in the work that's necessary to be the best version of yourself. Get it? See the distinction? And that's the problem. People say, oh, I just want to be myself. No, you can't just be yourself like, oh, waking up in the morning, being all like, you're like all tired and stuff, and you're coming over to the interview with like, you're like all tired with some kind of lazy energy coming over to the interview. No, be yourself, but be the best version of yourself. That's what we're talking about. So I know some of you are a little sensitive. This is Uncle Ralph. Sometimes I come in with a little tough love. But you gotta be tough, you gotta be tough and understand that's the world works in that way. All right. If you want to be a DA, if you want to prosecute people, if you want to put people in deny people of their liberty, and a whole lot of stuff that prosecutors can actually do, you have to be yourself. Present that to the people that intervene you. And that actually leads us into the next question that they will likely ask you. Why? What's your why? Why do you want to be a prosecutor? I had a background in law enforcement, so it was a natural. It wasn't even hard for me. I always liked criminal law. I've worked in public defense. I've worked in a public defender's office in the biggest public defender's office in the country. First oldest public defender's office in the country. I've worked there. I've also worked as a deputy district attorney. I've always, I like family law, and of course, back in the day, way back, I worked in law enforcement in the state of Texas. So, so it's different for me. So, I have other reasons why I like it. I personally, I want to make a big impact in criminal justice reform. You, potential person that wants to be hired, why do you want to be a prosecutor? Oh, in that specific county, DA's office. See what I'm saying? Think about these questions. You can't even find these things. What I'm giving you guys now, this content is like gold. Like, this is crazy, okay? So what you're supposed to do, what you're going to do, later on, if you want more like illumination on this subject, you can always like email me or whatever, or find a way to contact me. Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm always open. Ask me any question, but I can always help you out. So that's how I look at it. People make all these mistakes. Sometimes they want to focus on their resumes, and it's like, no, forget about the resume. I'm trying to tell you the stuff that you're supposed to do to actually connect to the people that are going to interview you. Because sometimes the interview can be like a series. It could be panels of interviews. When I got my job as a public defender in the first and biggest public defender's office in the U.S., in this country, the interview process was a panel, 3 stages. 3. That's how it happens. So that's what I'm trying to say. So you have to do your homework and be able to know how to talk about this issues, that may come up. All right. If you know your why, another thing that comes up is when you are a prosecutor, there are ethical duties that are actually different from what other attorneys are expected to abide by. So they are called special duties of a prosecutor. So just like a regular attorney can actually, of course, expected by the governing body of the whichever state, you're supposed to be ethical and do certain things. But as a prosecutor, there are special duties that you're supposed to abide by as a prosecutor. You have to know those things before you go for your interview. I had a guy that said, that he went to an interview to get a DA's job. They talked about, he said Brady came up, and he said that he doesn't even really know what Brady entails. Dude, come on, Brady. If you're a DA, deputy DA, and you don't understand Brady, you have no business working as a DA. Brady violation, you can mess that up real fast. You have to know that, exculpatory evidence that will help the defense. You're supposed to expose that to them, to the defense. That's Brady. That's how it is. So, as a person that's a potential employee, you can't go in there and say, I don't even understand what Brady means. Like, no, you don't have to know all the cases, but you have to know certain core cases. For instance, just like I was saying, like, there are certain cases that you have to know if you're applying for jobs in the public defender's office. Wainwright case, public defender's office. Over here in the DA's office, you have to know Brady, so that you don't just like randomly just have a Brady violation. You shouldn't do that. That's like a freaking rookie mistake. You shouldn't be doing those kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say. Know the stuff. All right. So yeah, that's the thing. So being a DA, a deputy DA, it's law enforcement. It's law enforcement. So you have to also kind of search your soul. You have to search your soul and think about what you believe in. What kind of stuff do you believe in when it comes to the administration of justice in this country? I have an abiding belief in the rule of law. I believe that nobody should be above the law. I also believe that nobody should be beneath the law. So for me, it's a balance. Abiding belief in the rule of law, and an abiding belief that justice should be equal for all. Justice for all. Equal, whether they're rich or they're poor, doesn't matter where they're at in their station of life. So you as a person that's trying to be a DA, you have to think about it. You have to research your soul. What is your core belief? What are your core values when it comes to justice? When it comes to the administration of justice? Ask that of yourself. When you ask that of yourself and answer those questions, you'll be more confident and comfortable when you answer the questions that the panel of your interviewers will ask of you. See, the interviewing panel, sometimes, you usually have, you can have a panel of 4 attorneys. Of course, they're already working in the DA's office, and they're trying to figure out some stuff about you. What they're trying to figure out about you is they want to feel your energy. They also want to know if you believe in what you're talking about. And for you to believe in what you're talking about, you have to understand the ethos, the pathos, you have to understand the underlying principle of what it means to administer justice under the rule of law. They want to know, they want to feel that you know that. They want to know that you're a lawman or lawwoman. You believe in this stuff. I believe in accountability when people commit crimes. I also believe in the protection of victims of crimes. I also believe that people's constitutional rights should not be violated. I believe that people's rights, constitutional rights, especially 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments, should not be violated. And so, when I'm acting as a prosecutor, I want to prosecute if there's probable cause. I want to exercise my prosecutorial discretion the right way. You that's trying to get this job, do you even understand the meaning of prosecutorial discretion? How can you apply that? How can you use that? How can you use that in the discharging of your duties, whether it's a millionaire or a poor person, an indigent person? How can you do that? Do you have that belief that the law is here and nobody should be above the law. And that we, in this country, we are a nation of laws, not a nation of men. We are a nation that believes in the rule of law, not the rule of man. That actually is something that the people that will be interviewing you want to know, but it's not going to be fixed. It's more like anecdotal evidence. They want to like pick that up from what you say. So you have to do your own soul searching, so that when you go in there, when you talk to them, they will feel it. They will know that you know what you're talking about and that you believe what you're talking about. When you believe what you're talking about, when you're steadfast in your belief in the rule of law, they will feel it and they will hire you. All right? Okay. So, yeah, that's it for today. I just wanted to talk about interview for today. This is Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. And as usual, I will see you soon. Peace.